Oh boy, let's get hyped here today, folks, because the Vancouver Canucks prospects, they're going out here. Some of these guys have some good stories, other guys have very weird stories, and I wanted to talk about them here in today's video. So, this is obviously going to be focusing on the two most recent first-round picks that the team had drafted. Two Swedish guys, one is in Sweden, another is in the NCAA. Of course, we are talking about Jonathan Lekkerimaki as well as Tom Willander. Now, let's start out with the good news, because this is a lot easier to talk about. Jonathan Lekkerimaki is a guy who last year definitely didn't show off what a lot of Canucks fans were expecting to see in his draft plus 1 year. You saw the Djurgården's SHL team get demoted from the SHL to the Allsvenskan, and already Lekkerimaki was producing well in Djurgården's SHL play, so we all thought, hey, in the Allsvenskan he's going to produce more. And he spent the good part of that year actually recovering from mononucleosis, so he did not actually perform all too well. He did play well in the playoffs, though. 15 points, 15 games played for Djurgårdens, and he was okay at the World Juniors, too. But long story short, last year was not really the huge step up in development that a lot of Canucks fans wanted to see out of Lekkerimaki. You could give him the pass because he was recovering from illness. That is totally not his fault, but it's just the unfortunate truth as to how things went down. And so, when we saw Lekkerimaki get loaned out to Örebro in the SHL this upcoming season, this is where things started to look a tad better. He would be playing with Elias Pettersson, and hopefully he'd be placed in a more favorable position to grow and develop. And now, even though the SHL is in its pre-season, we have just seen exactly that in the past little while here for Jonathan Lekkerimaki. And part of the reason we're familiar with this is because we've been seeing a lot of the goals that Lekkerimaki has scored in the preseason thus far. Part of the reason he was such a valued prospect in 2021 is because of that goal-scoring potential. And what we're seeing so far in the preseason is that, hey, all the aspects that made Lekkerimaki such a valued talent goal-scoring-wise 2 years ago, they're still there. He's scoring goals where he's doing the give-and-go play, and he's going to the front of the net to tap it in the back door. He's scoring goals where he's camping out at the blue line, receiving the puck, walking in, and sniping it short side. And in fact, yesterday's game, where you saw Lekkerimaki do just that, this is where Lekkerimaki actually worked his way up to the first line for Örebro in the SHL preseason. Chris Faber is the guy who did this tweet, and of course I'm always very praising of what Faber does. He does a very good job talking about prospects in the Canucks system, and of course Lekkerimaki has been a force to be reckoned with here. But he's been tweeting out the lines, he's been talking about the up and downs. Of course, Lekkerimaki is getting some games on the first line, other times he is on the fourth line, and so it's not really constant, but that's okay, it's just preseason hockey. But at the end of the day, what we want to see out of this guy is goals. Wherever it is that he's playing, first line, fourth line, middle line, whatever, power play or not, when this guy is on the ice, and when he is given a chance, he is firing it by goalies. And that is all he could give us right now. The SHL hasn't begun yet. It's going to start out soon. But preseason, SHL, Lekkerimaki goal scoring, that is pretty much the antidote to all the fear and sort of pessimism and cynicism that we had seen in this Canucks fan base when Lekkerimaki got off to a really slow start last year. Again, it's not his fault he got mono, but I think we could all agree, mano-a-mano, this is not really the ideal situation. So, Lekkerimaki bouncing back and showing us that he still has what it takes to do what he has to do to succeed in the SHL and hopefully win a spot with the Vancouver Canucks in the future. Mwah, chef's kiss with that. But with all the good we have seen out of Jonathan Lekkerimaki, we had ourselves some more odd news regarding the other prospect, Tom Willander, taken the year after. Now, Willander, as we have talked about this entire time, he was playing for the Regla BK in the SHL, but his path has taken a turn because for 23-24, he is not staying in Sweden. No, he is going to Boston University in the NCAA. It's really weird, actually, seeing a guy exhibit this type of path because it's very uncommon. Like, from the top of my head, I actually can't think of a Swedish or a Finnish or a European prospect that eventually, the season after getting drafted, took his talent to the NCAA. Actually, no, I can. Ruslan Ishkakov in the Islander system. That guy had the exact same progression, actually. But either way, point still stands. It's a very odd path. And Tom Willander is in a position where last year he was playing pro hockey. He's getting paid to play in the SHL. He had 2 games played. But the NCAA is going out there and using this against him. Here's a tweet from Mark Diver that talks just about that. Word is that because he had played 2 games in the SHL last year, Boston University's Tom Willander will have to sit out 1 NCAA game when the season starts next month. Now, why exactly is that the case? Well, it's because the NCAA is the NCAA and they don't like it when their athletes are getting paid to play because that makes them professionals. Once you're a pro, you're technically not supposed to be in the realm of college hockey anyway, because that's not paid for. And so you could go out there and debate the moral implications and the rights and the wrongs here, whether or not it's all too great that this is a rule, but the fact is, Tom Willander playing in the SHL last year ended up costing him 1 game with the NCAA team. And even funnier, this is Faber's tweet as well. Tom Willander played a total of 0-0 in those 2 SHL games that he dressed for. He dressed for the games, so that's why it counts as a game played, but he didn't actually play. You know, like there's some type of weird loophole that you could debate exists when you acknowledge that he didn't actually play the games, but on paper it said that he played, so yeah, NCAA rules, eh? In fact, you had yourselves another update here. This is Rick Dhaliwal. Willander will miss the first game of the season. His agent Todd Diamond and BU decided not to appeal the situation. And there's a correction there, advisor Todd Diamond. From this, you could gather that there is an idea that says that you can appeal. Like if you wanted to hit up the NCAA and say, hey, why are you doing this? The guy didn't actually play. Then okay, like that's your prerogative. You're allowed to do that. But I mean, if his advisor and the college themselves are not decided to appeal it, it's whatever. I mean, 1 game as a result of this punishment, it's not really the worst deal in the world, especially since the NCAA operates on a weekly schedule anyway. Like, if Tom Willander is only playing 2 games a week or 1 game a week, depending on the schedule, missing out on a game is not that bad, but of course, you know, just seeing Tom Willander in the NCAA getting his chops and playing hopefully with a guy like Lane Hudson on the top pair, that is the ultimate goal. I'm a Canadiens fan as well as a Canucks fan, and I make a lot of videos talking about Lane Hudson. I hope you probably noticed they get a lot of views because Canadiens fans are kind of nuts for that guy. So seeing Lane Hudson and Tom Willander on the same pairing for all of college hockey next year, that sounds like a blessing. It's gonna be so good because I could watch both of these guys at the same time. That's awesome. But either way, the season is not going to start out well for Willander, considering he's going to miss a game because he's an SHL pro athlete, but it doesn't matter, it's only 1 game. As for Lekkerimaki in Sweden, back across the pond, he is doing well in the SHL preseason. Hopefully that carries over into regular club play with Örebro, and hopefully it also transpires on the score sheet for Elias Pettersson as well. I don't even know if the defensive Elias Pettersson is pronounced that same way, but either way, you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about this Canucks prospect update? Lekkerimaki's doing alright. Willander is not really getting treated properly if you wanted to talk about the moral inner workings of the NCAA. But either way, thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.